So I'm at work right now. I'm just on lunch. Got in my car and started driving around because I would like to not be at work. Crazy, I know. But I don't know. Mine's just going as usual. Just thinking about everything. And there's, I'm sure you've heard the quote or the idea or whatever you want to call it, that you are the sum of the 5 people you hang out with, or people you spend the most time with, or whatever it is, something like that. Or your network is your net worth, and who you surround yourself. Show me your 5 friends, I'll show you the next 5 years. I don't know what. Just principle of the whole thing is the people you surround yourself with definitely have a humongous role in the trajectory of your life and where you're headed next. That's pretty much the idea. I hate that I can never remember these things, but whatever. And I was thinking about that in terms of the people who are really trying to go after it. And I think just by default, the path to trying to be better and pushing yourself to achieve more, I think by default, straight out the gate, it's just the hardest fucking path somebody could take, because most people aren't the majority, the vast majority, like 99% of people, that's not their goal, and that's fine. I always say that. It's fucking fine. Do what you want to do. But when you try to break out of that, you're surrounded by people who don't have that same mentality and that same vision for themselves. So it's so hard to get out of that, because you're faced with what you don't want to be faced with 24/7. It's kind of like if you were trying to, you're trying to learn how to play basketball or something like that, and every single person you ever came in contact with was a golfer. And every single one of those golfers was like, dude, don't play that fucking ball game. Play this ball game, And I don't know. I just feel like that's kind of how it is, because I've got all these goals and visions and dreams and shit, but rarely do I ever come across anybody who shares the same belief system or same vision or is as ambitious. I mean, I've come across a few people. It's pretty cool. It's very refreshing. And yeah, it just, I don't know, man. I think it's just so fucking hard to break out of that. And I think that's why when you can start making some kind of success, some kind of noise for yourself, I think that's when things start to get easier. I wouldn't say it requires less work, but I think it becomes easier because the kind of people that you're associating with, they're kind of like installed with the same software as you. They got the same firmware, the same updates, the same progress, whatever. They just have the same, just wired the same. But, and the reason why I bring this up is, I don't know why I bring this up actually, but I'm just at work, man, and I don't know. I don't know how to talk about things like this without making it sound like I'm better than somebody else or I'm whatever. But I guess, if I'm being honest, I guess in some ways, if you do have bigger goals and you do have bigger dreams for yourself, I think by default you do think that you are more inclined maybe to achieve those things. I don't know, man. Than other people? I don't know. Touchy subject, because I don't want to come across that way. That's never my goal. It's never my intent. But again, just sharing everything I can. So, but I'm at work, I'm just back at the 9 to 5 with a bunch of people who I like, by the way, but who have accepted that this is kind of their life. Especially people who are double my age who are still here. We're making the same amount of money. They got 20 years more experience than I do. I don't know, just something about that, just weird to me. Not weird, I don't know what I'm trying to say. But I guess what I am trying to get at though is, when I'm by myself over the weekend and I'm doing my own thing and I'm able to focus on my shit and I'm able to work on my projects and my goals, there's no outside influence. There's no people in my life trying to shoot my ideas down or trying to shit on what I got going on or trying to make me feel less than or better than, whatever. It doesn't matter. There's no person or people who I can see and I'm around or whatever that are settling for so little. I'm only with myself, and I would say that my standards are higher than the average person's. I think that's just, I don't think that's arrogant at all. I think that's just a matter of fact, and it's okay. And who cares if I'm right or wrong? I don't give a fuck. But I'm that's it. I mean, Lexi comes over, and she is the most supportive woman I've in my entire life right now. So when I have that kind of support and that kind of backing for what I'm doing, it just makes coming back to, I guess, the real world, the average world, society, just so difficult, because now I feel like I come back to these norms and constructs that society has created, and I don't feel like I fit in with that shit. So then it makes me feel kind of like I gotta suppress my ambition so I seem normal. And I don't necessarily feel like I have to suppress my shit, but because I don't, it's just so fucking annoying when I try to do anything out of the ordinary and someone's like, oh, blah, 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 this, that, and the other, you can't, what the fuck are you doing? Shit's just so annoying. And if I could just get rid of that one aspect of my life forever, that would be awesome. And I don't think that's a thing. I think you are kind of stuck with that because, you know, the 1% are the 1% for a reason, and then there's the 0.1%, you know, and then there's the top of the top of the top elite and whatever. And I don't know, it's just, I don't know, just some shit I'm thinking about. So that's that. I'm gonna go back into work now, so I'll finish this show later. What's going on, guys? Here I am, 6:52 p.m., September 16th, Monday, 2024. Just gonna finish this show off real quick. So the first part of what you heard was from earlier today at work, and then I actually have a little bit more that I recorded last night. I didn't want to upload it and do all that because I was talking and recording as I was getting ready for bed. So that is yesterday, which is September 15th. That's thoughts and stuff from September 15th, not September 16th, which is today. But I'm still going to put it in today's episode. I'm still just going to talk about it. So, but what you'll hear in that, and I'm going to touch on that real quick, is I just went down this little, I guess, rabbit hole of Alex Hormozi's content. If you don't know who he is, he's an American entrepreneur, just fucking incredible guy. I would call him a modern day philosopher. He's got a lot of great things out there. He's got 2 books, 2 of which I have. They've taught me so much, and a lot of the confidence that I have and where I'm going is because of what he's taught and everything like that. However, I wouldn't say that what he teaches is for somebody who is okay with being, quote, average and, you know, working a 9-to-5 with no other intentions of going past that. There's nothing wrong with working a 9-to-5 and settling for that for you. There's nothing wrong with that. I do think it's a problem if you are settling, you know, you want more. I think that's where the problems come. But I pretty much just talk about how when you go from post to post and you read the comments, it's so clear that when one of his posts goes out of his audience, meaning the people who are entrepreneurs, people who want to be better, people who want to work hard, people who want to do big stuff, when it goes beyond that demographic of people and it reaches the wider spectrum of people out there who, again, are the people who work a 9-to-5 or who are the haters, the doubters who believe that if you make 6 figures, you're definitely a scammer or you're definitely some kind of thief or you're whatever, a fraud, you lie to people, whatever. It reaches those kind of people. And then they leave their comments on the post and you can go and see them. And it's, you'll hear when I talk about it. It's 20 minutes long. I'm very sick and I sound shitty. So if you can bear through the 20 minutes, then good for you. If not, then don't listen to it. It's all good. No harm, no foul. Documenting everything. If you don't want to listen to this, I'm going to have 7,000 more episodes. So actually, 6,990. What would that be? 90 or 6,975, something like that. More episodes for you, so no worries. Also, I'm thinking about changing the cover art and stuff. Make it a little bit more me. I have this idea of me holding 2 calendars from my mouth, 1 or 2, 3 in one hand, holding them up with the year 2043 in one of them, and then behind that you can see 2042, 2041, with the days marked off, whatever. And then having the calendar dates have certain things on there, such as I bought my first Lambo, or such as I hired my first employee, or such as I made my first sale. And on those calendars, you know, I've got 2 hanging from my mouth. I'm holding up 3 in my right hand, and then I'm holding a whole stack in my left, kind of like they're to my chest. And then, it's me sitting at a desk, and then on the desk, there's stacks of calendars to illustrate that this is a daily show. It's going to be going on, for 20 years. And it's just a daily documentation. So probably that, if I can pull that off and make it look how I want it to look, I might just stick with that forever and just update myself every year or something like that, so it's up to date, so that the person in the podcast cover art is me, but it is me to date and not me, 20-year-old me, the entire time. Or maybe I will keep it me, 20-year-old me, the entire time. Or I guess not 20, it'd be 26, but 27 now, but it would be 26 since I started. That's when I started. So anyway, that's the idea, but that's not what I want to talk about. I have nothing written down to talk about today other than what I talked about earlier, which was kind of surrounding yourself with winners. And if you can't do that, I would argue it's better to just be alone and not surround yourself with anybody until you can find those people. I didn't say that then, but I just thought of that now, and I think that's solid. So what I do want to talk about now, and I don't have it written down, but it is a thought that I wanted to share, which is a little quick update on me, meaning how the hell do I like doing this podcast? How do I like my current life? I get like all the shit that I got going on. How do I feel about it? And I guess it's kind of a check-in episode because I haven't talked about it, I don't think, ever on this show, talking about how I feel or how I whatever. Also, real quick, so what I know I just talked about the Alex Hormozi thing. That's going to be played after I finish this part because it's 20 minutes long. It's probably so hard to listen to because I'm just talking like this because I'm in bed and holy fucking shit. That's what I sound like. So I'll put that at the end. That way, if you want to listen to it, you can. If not, then all good. Again, these podcast episodes are being recorded for somebody who probably isn't even born yet. So anyway. So how do I like running this podcast? Dude, I'll tell you what. It's pretty cool. It's pretty therapeutic for me. I've always said that. It's nice to be able to just talk for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, sometimes an hour with no interruptions. I don't have anybody giving me their 2 cents. It's kind of nice to just talk and get my thoughts out on paper because in doing so, it helps me process things and think things through. There's been a few times on the show where I come up with a problem and just in talking about it, I figure out along the way that it's either not a big deal or I found the solution or whatever. And that's been very beneficial. And I'd like to think that my speech and whatever you want to call it has gotten better as I just blank out on words. So probably not. I'd like to think it's gotten better because if I've done this almost every single day for a year straight, not even close to missing a day, I'd like to think that I've gotten better. But it's just been 1 year. So I mean, if you take out this last year, it's almost been a full year. Take out this last year of these 20-minute conversations. That's 20 minutes a day for a year. And let's pull up some pull-ups. Hold on. Point times 365. So it's 120 hours of this shit. I guess that was pretty easy math, huh? If it was an hour a day for a year, it'd be 365 hours. Divide that by 3, it's 120. Whatever. So 120 hours. Dude, I hate when I do that shit. Some easy fucking math and I have to whip out a calculator for it. I just didn't think through it, 1 hour a day for a year, 365. Okay, anyway. So 120 hours. That's 120 hours that I wouldn't have under my belt as far as podcasting and getting my thoughts out there and all this stuff. So 120 hours. If I wouldn't have started then, I would be 120 hours behind, So that's kind of cool to think about. But anyway, not trying to go down that path. I like doing this. I find it enjoyable. I keep on thinking of better ways to do everything and cooler this, cooler that, better intro, better organization. It'd be cool if I had different sound effects, different music, you name it. It'd be so sweet if I had all that stuff. And in a way, I wish I did. But also, the reason why I've been able to do this every single day without fail, without even thinking about it most days, is because all I'm forcing myself to do is record it and upload it. I'm not worried, I'm not forcing myself, I should say, to make sure that everything's edited and nice and that I'm not saying and like, and that I have to go back and edit the parts where I say a bad word. I'm not worried about any of that. I just record and upload. So that makes it very easy for me to stick with it. And the more I
I try to run my life with, make it as easy as possible to work as hard as I can, the more I see opportunities around my life to implement that same principle or law or whatever. I mean, for example, and this is just something I was thinking about the other day, but at work we have these checkout logs for toolbox keys and these checkout logs for some of the books that we have to check out and use that to follow the step-by-step guide, which are fucking dog shit, by the way. And we just have to check out everything. We have to make sure that we're checking out some of the cranes that we have to use overhead to lift up the crates in the shop and all this stuff. And if you're brand new to the show, I currently work at Hill Air Force Base. I work on F-35 canopies, and it's pretty cool stuff, but it's very tedious and monotonous work. And you only do one process. You do one of the same processes once every month, maybe. So it's very hard to get good at the thing that you're doing. So anyway, with that being said, there's so many of these logs that we have to check out. So for example, you grab a piece of paper, you write your name, you then have to write what you're checking out. So I don't know what I can or can't say, but I'd be like book number 3 for this process, whatever. And then I'd write the date, and then I would write my initials or whatever. And instead of having to do all that shit, how about it's just initials? And then for the thing that we're checking out, how about have a whole bunch of presets and I circle which one I want? So, and then for the date, you would just circle the numbers. And obviously, if it's a certain month, you could then just know that it's the certain month, because if you're checking out 5 per day, it's not just going to go from September to November. Obviously, every single one for the next 30 days or whatever is going to be a 9 because that's September. So just make it so you circle it. So instead of having to fill out the shit and it takes 30 seconds, you fill the shit out and it takes 5. And yeah, whoop-de-doo, you save 25 seconds. But if I could do that every single day with everything that we have in the shop, that would save me, 5 minutes a day. Shit, maybe even 10, because some of those fuckers are long as hell. And if you work with me, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Got to go through and sign off every single thing that you touch. Make sure you inspected it and looked at it. Eat my dick, dude. If I used it yesterday and I put it back, and I know that I used it yesterday and put it back, I'm not going to redo it again today. It's a micromanaging bullshit, dude. Fuck all that. So anyway, you got to deal with it, so we should just make it easier. So how about just circle and check the boxes rather than filling up my whole goddamn contract with detailed verbiage about how I'm going to use the goddamn crane. Just let me go circle yes, no, ABC. That's done. So anyway, going way off topic, that's how I'm applying. Okay, that's the kind of rules, guides, whatever you want to call them, the backbone that I'm applying to this show, which is I record it, I put it in Adobe Audition, I make it sound nicer because it is so simple to do. I put it in there, I go to the left, I click effects, and I click radio voice. That's it, done. And then I export it. And the reason why I do that is because it counts as 2 things, because the files need to be MP3, and if you drag and drop from voice memos on your MacBook, it is an M4A, which is not supported for more than the majority. Nice. For the vast majority of channels for podcasts. So Amazon, Spotify, Apple, all this stuff. So MP3 is the way to go. So when I export it, it's MP3, and that's when I can put the intro, outro music, stuff like that. And the intro, outro, that's no big deal. I just have to make it and then put it in there, and it's a preset. That's all I have to do. But again, way off topic. It's really hard for me to stay focused when I got so much to say. But it's simple because there's such a low cost of entry. I record it, I upload it, and that's it. If I had to go back and edit every single thing to make it sound better, if I had to go and edit out all the times I say something I didn't want to say, or I had to add certain sound effects at certain spots to make it more entertaining, then it would be a lot less. There'd be so much more friction for me to want to record a show, or I'd have to spend more time doing it, which would then take more time out of other things that are arguably a higher priority. This isn't with the long-term, super ultra long-term vision of the next 30 years of my life, I truly believe that this podcast will be one of the most valuable assets that I own, because it is a day-to-day documentation of me going from goddamn nothing to 7 figures, 8 figures, 9 figures, whatever. And nobody else will have this. Nobody else will have a documentation. They might have a couple months here and there, a couple videos, whatever. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of people who've done a lot of great shit. But nobody's going to have a day by day, every day documentation of their thoughts, the decision making, the lessons that they learn, everything like that in the context of business and personal development and everything like that. Nobody's going to have that. Nobody's doing that right now. So in 30 years, when I'm on episode 11,000, whatever, dude, it just will just be the most valuable thing that I have, because it's proof. It's just saying, hey, I did wherever I'm at. Here's how I got here every single day of the way. Nobody else will have that. Maybe nobody else ever again. Who knows? I would say that if I do it one time, I'm sure a lot of people will do it to follow, but not the point. I think this is for the long-term, ultra huge long play. Right now, I got to get this fitness coaching going so that I can make money and then get better at sales, get better at business marketing, because that's why I'm doing it. So I'll touch on that in just a sec. I don't want this show to go on too long, but sometimes it does. So anyway, going way back, I like doing the show. It's easy, gets me to open up and talk and share my thoughts, gets me to get a little bit more clear on certain things. It allows me to be vulnerable in a way that is a little bit different than, I guess, what I'm used to. And I can say some whatever shit I want on here, and I don't get a direct response. I don't get the judgment, which kind of is a not so great thing. If I say some out of pocket shit and nobody slaps me in the face, it's probably not good. But I like doing this. It's enjoyable. Sometimes it's inconvenient. Sometimes I feel like I'm wasting my time. Sometimes I feel like I need to do other things. I shouldn't be prioritizing this. But again, I think big picture, 30 years down the road, this is going to be one of those things where I'm like, I'm so fucking glad I did this for so many reasons too, because dude, my kids are going to be able to listen to this. And sorry, son, daughter, I say bad words, but that's the real world. So, fuck, I don't know what to tell you. Love you lots though. So anyway, like, the kids are going to be able to listen to this, man. Got other family that might, if they wanted to. If I had to count on one hand, probably 3 or 4 family members listen to the show. I bet you a lot of them don't even know it exists. I bet you a lot of them don't even know that I don't know. I don't care. It's not about that. But yeah, so I like doing the show. I like doing all this stuff. The other podcast, there's quite a learning curve. I'm very uncomfortable with that stuff like that, but I know I need to push myself to get better at things like that. And I mean, as long as I keep on going, I don't give up, I'm only going to learn and get better. So right now, everything might be absolute horse shit, but with time, it will get better. And, the first 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 takes or episodes or whatever of somebody doing something, they're the worst. And nobody sees them until one day, one pops off. And it just so happens that that's the standard that person has set for themselves. So every video going forward, it has a certain look, a certain feel. They talk a certain way, whatever. And then that's when people start recognizing them for them. And they start making good shit. And that's when fame, or whatever you want to call it, starts happening. People start associating their video or whatever they got going on with them, as opposed to the shitty ass videos that they made consistently for 5 straight years. And I think that I just need to accept the fact that the next 5 years, as far as video podcasting and stuff like that, they're probably going to be shit, probably going to get a cumulative of, 1,000 views in the next 5 years. But after that, all it takes is one video to just explode, and then, I start getting paid from YouTube, and then I start having a bigger impact. And then I can start, and there's so many different avenues and roads and paths I can take in the future. But right now, the one thing that is guaranteed is that if I just stop or if I give up, then I will never achieve any of the things that I want to, because if I give up, then I'm not going to go anywhere. So there's my little spiel on the podcast. So there's that. I like my life. I like what I've got going on. It's discouraging a lot of the time, but it feels good knowing that I'm chasing something that I want to achieve. It feels good knowing that I'm working towards something every single day, pretty relentlessly, and trying to make this happen. And I've kind of, so cliche because everybody talks about it now, but I think it's different once you truly understand it. And if you think, honestly, based on my experience, the things that I've always thought were corny or cliche are the things that I just didn't understand or have personal experience with. But now that, for example, this I do have experience with, it's not corny at all. I think it's just just fucking pure ass wisdom, which is totally lost my train of thought. So that's awesome. Hold on, let me rewind. God, dude, all right, we got it. Holy shit. So everybody says that the it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. But dude, it fucking is, man. It so is. It so is. It's not about anything other than that. And that leads me into such a deep thought of people work their whole life to get to the retirement finish line. But what if you don't even want to retire? Because retirement means you don't want to work, right? But what if I do want to work? What if that's what makes me happy? What if that's what brings me joy and fulfillment? So the whole system of fucking life, man, just doesn't apply to me. Because the whole system is designed for you to go to work, go to school, whatever, put in your 60 years, have a retirement, and then retire when you're 900 years old, and you have one day of no work, and then you die. But what if I enjoy work and I enjoy the process of the day-to-day grind and the hustle and stuff like that? If I enjoy that, then where is retirement for me? It doesn't exist. So all this saving for retirement, all this planning, all this work-life balance shit, where does that go for me? If I like this so much, that doesn't work. That's not a path I should follow. Hey, we want you to retire at 30, what the fuck did I say 30? It's 55 years, 60 years old, whatever. So you need to start doing this, and this, put this money here, do this, blah, 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 so that you can stop working at 60 and enjoy your life. Dude, I'm enjoying my life now. I got all the time in the world right now. I'm fine. Like I'm living, my life's great. I love it. That's enough for me. I don't got to worry about retirement. I got to worry about working or saving my time off or what. I'm doing the shit I like right now. I actively, day by day, am doing the things that make me happy right now. Recording this podcast right now. I'm not getting a goddamn penny from any of this, but I like doing it. And it's enough for me to want to continue doing it. So now what? Like, where do I go from here? I'm winning. I made it. Like, for real, if I'm trying to get to the destination of being happy and no more work or whatever, that would make me sad as fuck. If I got to a point where there was no responsibility for me to come on here and talk about my day and the lessons that I'm learning, or I didn't have any requirement to make this coaching idea of mine come to fruition for a second time. If I had nothing going for me and all I had to do was wake up and just go for a drive or go hiking or go feed the ducks or go for a walk, and that's it, and I came home, and then what do I do, you know? I just sit there? Fuck that, bro. That sounds like a miserable ass life. For some people, that's the dream, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. For me, sounds like a miserable life. Because I hate people who are like, oh, I'm built different. But dude, I've developed myself in a way that the things that I like are much different than other people's. And it just so happens that offends a lot of people when you want something bigger and better than what they've got. And it just so happens, dude, I want a lot of cool shit, both materialistic and both, I guess, I don't know what the word would be, just achievement, accolades, accolytic, if that's a word. It's not for sure, but that's what I'm after. And that shit makes me happy. But it's the day-to-day that makes me happy. So, again, going back to the thing I said earlier, the destination or the journey being the actual, fuck is it, man? It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And it is. And it's so cliche to say because it's what everybody says. Enjoy the process, smell the roses, whatever. Dude, it is, though. It is. If I got to the point where I had everything I ever wanted, I didn't have to work again, I'd be so upset. Because then what do I do? So for me, I don't know. When you start thinking about things like that, it's just you realize that there's a whole social, societal, whatever norm. There's a whole system in place. There's a whole construct. It's been going on. I mean, the minute that you deviate from that, you're a piece of shit, and so be it. I guess I'm gonna have to get used to that. And that's what you'll hear about in the whole Alex Hormozi thing at the end of the show, which the show is going to be an hour long. Holy fuck, dude. But yeah, so I like my life. I like what I've got going on. I like working hard. The trade-offs and exchanges and sacrifices, if you want to call them that, the investments, the opportunity, whatever you want to call them, I'm content with them. I've come to terms with what I'm trading now for the future and all that stuff like that. And it is what it is. It's my life to live. Maybe I'll regret it. Maybe I won't. But either way, we're all going to die anyway. None of this is going to matter in 100 years anyway. So you can think about it that way. I would, it's pretty nihilistic, but it's just fact. People are like, oh, it's whatever. But dude, you can call it what you want, but it is inevitable that we will all die and we will all be forgotten sooner or later. So what the fuck does anything matter anyway? Therefore, do what the hell you want to do anyway. I mean, just don't kill people. Don't touch children, obviously. But, I mean, just do what makes you happy. Do what makes you fulfilled. Do the cool shit you want to do. Do whatever. If you want to work a 9 to 5 and you want to whatever and you save for retirement, then fucking do it. If you want to quit and travel the world in a van, then do it. If you want to go all in on a business idea and sacrifice, invest whatever the next 30 years of your life, so you might get a Lambo when you're 40 years old, then do it, bro. Who gives a fuck? Not going to matter in 100 years anyway. You can also make the same argument of it's not going to matter in 100 years anyway, so why even try? Dude, it goes both ways. Why not try? Have some cool stories to tell before you die. People are always like, "Oh man, you're not gonna have any memories if all you do is stay home and work." Dude, I'm making some cool ass memories right now. Dude, I'm in my office grinding away at all the shit I got going on. In 20 years, when I tell the story, that's gonna be one fucking cool ass story. This story's gonna be a lot cooler than the time when we were driving in the one time and the cop pulled us over and the guy ran. Who gives a fuck, dude? I spent the last 20 years of my life grinding away to make this dream a reality. Now I get to employ thousands of people and they get to put food on their family's table and they get to raise their kids or whatever because of decisions and the sacrifices and investments that I made as a man. Fuck yeah, that's what I'm about, dude. I like when I'm talking about stuff like this, man. I get so fired up. If you can't tell I'm passionate about it, I don't know what to tell you. But this stuff gets me going, man. I love stuff like this. And I mean, I think this ties into the intro of the show, which was the first 6 minutes of me at work in my car. This is why I don't like hanging out with people, because nobody else has this frame. Hold on, let me take back. This is why I don't like hanging out with people who don't share this same kind of mentality, or people who are at least open to it or support me for having it. It's one thing for example, if I were having a conversation with somebody like this, and they were to throw throw some slights at me, or kind of undermine me, or say some, "Oh, okay, buddy. Yeah, right. Okay, good luck." All that shit, dude. I don't like that. So therefore, we're probably not friends and probably not going to hang out. And I probably wouldn't continue the conversation. But I'm by myself right now. I'm content. I'm happier right now talking to my goddamn self on a microphone in my dimly lit room. It probably has a ghost in here. I've got a blanket on the floor. I've got a sock on the floor. I've got a trash bin full of napkins because my nose is so stuffy. I'm sick. I'm still sick. And I'm happier than I'm way happier now. I'm way more content and feeling good about everything now than I would be if I were with people in a social setting with drinks or food or games or whatever. I do not desire that most of the time. 99% of the time, I'm good. Once here and there, that's fun. It's great. It's good time. But that's not what I desire, and you're not a piece of shit if you do desire that. I couldn't give 3 fucks what you desire as far as what you'd like to do with your spare time or your free time, whatever. I like to invest my time into building something that I could be proud of in 30 years. Because in 30 years, everyone's just going to work their 9 to 5, whatever, all good, retire. They're going to have all the time in the world for their friends, family, kids, whatever, you name it, have a nice retirement, go spend their days on the boat or whatever. I don't really give a fuck about that stuff, so why should I chase what everybody else is chasing? Because society says I should. Fuck that, bro. God damn it. I just wish people would wake up to that, man. You got to do what you want to do. Just because it's not what society wants doesn't mean you're a piece of shit. I'm going way anti all this stuff, man. Dude, I've even said this, I've said this so many times on the show. If I didn't make a single dollar for the next 20 years doing any of the stuff I'm doing right now, I would still do it. Because I want to build something. That's what lights the fire inside me. I just want to build something. Fuck, man. Can't be around people who make fun of you for wanting to build and wanting to try. Got to get around the engineers and architects, man. People who are going to help you build the things that you want to build. AKA the dreamers, the visionaries, the hustlers, the grinders, entrepreneurs, businessmen. That's the kind of people I want to be around. And if I don't have anybody in my life like that right now, then I'm cool with being a loner. Because I'd rather be a loner and a great-ass company than be surrounded by people who just can't even think past tomorrow, So, yeah, I like what I've got going on. It's discouraging a shit ton of the time. A lot of days I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? It's not going to work. What am I doing? It's embarrassing, whatever. I have those thoughts all the time. But sure beats feeling like shit and feeling miserable because I'm not trying, or because I feel like I could have given more or whatever. Because every single day I feel like I'm given a fair shot at pursuing my goals and dreams. A shit ton more than the average person. Say a lot more than the above average person, and probably in line with somebody who's really thirsty for that next level of success, but is also patient enough to know that it's probably not going to happen for 10, 15, 20 years. The big payoff, if you want to call it that. So, yeah, I like what I got going on. I like the podcast. I like my goals. I don't ever think about what I'm missing out on anymore. I don't even view it as that. I view that the things that I'm going after in life are I'd be missing out on those things. And those things, I don't know, man. Something I think about a lot is, what the fuck would I tell my son if he has big goals and dreams and he wants to go after this big thing, and I say, hey, you know what? You know, I believe in you, but I failed and quit and gave up when I was about 27 years old. So, good luck. What the fuck am I going to tell my son, dude? What's he going to say to that? Oh, what an embarrassment as a father, huh? That's just my biggest fear. I don't want to be a shitty father. I don't want to be a bad dad. I want to be the greatest example that I possibly can be. My son, daughter, whatever. All my employees, clients, all my friends, family, whatever. If they see it as me being as a good example, then they will. If they see it as me being some pretentious asshole, then they'll see it for that. It's all about your true colors inside. But I just want to do cool shit. I want to work hard, and I want to keep on achieving some good goals of mine. And I just want to keep on just building the thing that I want to build, because that's what brings me the most fulfillment. And I don't know. This is a whole different subject, but it's not even about happiness. It's just about the fulfillment, because I mean, I'm discouraged a lot of the time, and being discouraged does not make me happy, but the fulfillment that I get from pushing harder to try harder on something to see if something happens or something's better, that's pretty fucking cool stuff. I like that. Cause and effect, you know? I mean, you learn this in 7th grade science class. You know, you write your hypothesis, then you test your hypothesis, and then you write about it. You get the results of whatever, and you compare. I think that's some cool ass basic shit. I like that stuff. So, little vent session over. I like what I got going on. Maybe I'll regret a lot of this in the future when, I mean, I can't lie. Some of this stuff crosses my mind all the time. You know, I've got some family members that are older who you're probably not going to be with us for the next decade. Who knows? 2 decades. I don't know. And, you know, I'm wasting away these years, if you want to call it wasting away, so that I can work on this. And I'm missing out on some of these opportunities. But this sounds so shitty, I guess. But I don't know. I just, it's not something I care about. And I think I've come to terms with that, because it's something that is so not forced. It's something that's so, I don't know. It's so pushed down our throats that we have to spend time with our friends and family, because you never know when the last time you're going to see them is. And dude, like, that applies to every second of every day in any situation, no matter what. We could have an earthquake, right? Dude, we could have an asteroid hit the earth. You know, I could walk outside and I don't know, I could get shot. I could go to the store. It could be a mass shooting at the store. I'll die. I wouldn't know any different. I mean, that could happen to anybody down the road. That could, you know, and it happens all the time. And this is a very touchy subject, and I get that. But it happens all the time. I'm not saying that's a good thing or bad thing. I'm just saying it happens all the time. It's inevitable that these things fucking happen, because people are lunatics out there. And so I'm not going to let the fear of somebody passing away tomorrow morning ruin my goals and dreams of life. I mean, shit's going to happen, man. And I guess you just got to deal with the shit as it comes. And maybe I'll eat these words in the future. Maybe we'll listen to this clip in the future, and I'll be like, oh, goddamn, dude. No wonder why this didn't blah, 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 because you were a piece of shit. All you cared about was blah. Maybe that'll happen. And I don't really give a fuck if it does. Dude, I'm documenting everything. Either way I win, man. Either way you guys win, because I'm documenting everything, all the lessons, decision-making, everything that comes with all the things that I'm doing now. If I win, then you know how to win. If I lose, you know how to lose. I mean, the future generations will have this if they have podcasts or whatever. Who gives a fuck, bro? Doing the thing that makes me feel good inside. Doing the thing that gives me a sense of fulfillment. Doing the thing that makes me feel good about working hard and pursuing all this. And if I lose time with friends and family and whatever, dude, then it's just the price you pay. And I don't know. It's just not accepted in society. It's not, dude, I wouldn't even say it's accepted by a lot of people that are out there. That might be my most controversial thing, dude. I don't know. That's just what I think. You know, there's a lot of, I don't know, man. Why? I don't know. This is far out there, so bear with me here, I guess. But Like, why do I have to give a fuck about my family? Why do I have to give a fuck about my friends? Like, why do I have to? You know, why? Why? Because we have the same blood type? Because they raised me? Because, you know? I don't know. Love my family. Not saying that at all. But if someone invites me to go to some place with them and I say no, why am I a piece of shit if I say no? I don't give a fuck. I don't want to. You know? Family, friends, coworker, whatever. I don't know. I'll be honest, this is one topic that I'm very, I guess, foggy on, because it's just one of those things, man. I just don't make me feel like I have to do anything. I don't know. So again, I might go back on every single thing I ever said in this whole show, but it'll be cool if that happens, because then it'll be a huge learning moment for me in the future. Because I'll be like, wow, I said that shit? What a dumbass. Or I could say, yep, 30 years later, I still believe that to my core. So pretty cool stuff, man, when you think about it that way. So not to scare anybody off, if you get shot tomorrow, I'd probably miss the hell out of you. I love you, but I'm not going to give up on my dreams, or, you know, not to say I wouldn't reminisce and I wouldn't be like, oh man, I wish I would. I'd probably do all that shit. I mean, such is life, you know? But I'm not going to let that stop me from working so hard towards my shit. You got to stop and care for the things that really matter. We're different people. Things that really matter are different for both of us. Oh, but family is all you got. Well, a lot of people don't have families. So what do you say to, you know, goddamn, bro. So anyway, way off topic. I like the show. I like my life. I like what I got going on. I like working hard. So it makes me, I don't want to say happy. It makes me fulfilled. It makes me feel fulfilled. And so anyway, super long show, because I'm going to add in the 20-minute long thing from last night. So again, it's about Alex Hormozi and the posts, and how his posts are generally about making money, entrepreneurship, sacrificing, you know, going all in, accepting the fact it's going to take a lot longer, and talking about what lazy people want versus what rich people want, all this stuff. And that's what that's about. It's a 20-minute long thing. It's from me last night. I'm dead tired, laying in bed, and I sound like shit. Probably a lot worse than how I sound now. So anyway, that's how that went. So I'm going to go ahead and play that now in just a sec. Actually, I just want to say thanks for listening. I love you guys. I know this is a long one. I know I got passionate. I know there was a lot of shit said on here that probably might rub some feathers the wrong way, but it's my opinion. And if you don't like my opinion, I damn. So that's the show. So I appreciate you guys listening. And with that being said, here is the rest of the episode. All right, I got to share this. I don't have my thoughts collected, so it might sound all over the place. It might sound super arrogant too, but it is what it is. So it's still September 15th. It's 11:08, but I'm going to add this into tomorrow's show. Just because I'm done writing. I'm going to sleep, man. I'm very tired. But I got distracted with social media. I was on the For You page on Instagram. First one that popped up was something from Alex Hormozi. I'm just going to assume you know who he is, what he posts. But this post went super viral. I think it got 6.9 million views. It was something, I can't even remember what it's about. But you click on the comments and they're just so negative. You know, they're saying he's got an empty, soulless life, whatever. All he does, he scams people. He's this, that, whatever. And I don't know. I see that, and I think you're very close-minded to think that this guy is doing anything other than helping people. I mean, I get these goals are big, you know, to want to make 6 figures. I mean, that's attainable for a lot of people, but 7 figures is not, because people don't possess the right mentality and the mindset. And I think that's where the line is in the sand between people who make it big and people who don't. It's just simply mentality. It's very evident by simply just looking at comments. I'm getting in bed right now. From comments on social media. And I noticed a common theme. So when I would look at all the posts on the reels for his page, the ones that were about anything less than 1 million views or plays, whatever, those posts stayed within his audience, meaning that people who choose to follow him and like his stuff
those posts, the comments were positive because it never left his audience. It never left the people who choose to follow him and like his stuff. But when you look at the posts that made it out of his target audience and they made it into the general public where, you know, random Joe Schmoes can see and comment or whatever, who have no context, who you're just really small, closed-minded thinking, it reaches those people. And then those people voice up and they say what they think, how they feel, whatever. A lot of them are just plain ignorant. For example, there was one I was talking about, so Chris Williamson from Modern Wisdom. I'm just going to assume you know what all this is, but whatever. Chris Williamson is doing a podcast with Alex. Chris is reading Alex's tweet. He's reading his own quote. Chris is reading Alex's quote. Chris is saying what Alex said. And then Alex expands upon what Chris said that Alex said. And somebody commented, oh, all this guy does is just add to what Chris says. Chris said it perfectly, but he just feels like he has to add some stuff. And I'm reading that like, dude, Alex said it. But rather than getting all worked up and upset about it, I read that and I'm like, okay, you went out of your way to leave a comment on an Instagram post about something that you lack all context to. Kind of insulting, whatever. And anyway, a lot of comments are like that. And a lot of them are saying that he's this, he's that. And I'm not defending anybody. I'm just making an observation. I do think that what Alex says, a lot of what he says is great. There are other things that he does say that I'm not 100% on board with. And that goes for a lot of people, you know? So anyway, I don't think I've ever found someone that I like so much that I'm like, yeah, 100% of what they say is absolutely true. I don't think that that's a real thing. And if it is, for you, I would say that you probably need to start thinking for yourself more. Because if you 100% agree with what someone says 100% of the time, all circumstances, all times, that whatever, you're probably not thinking for yourself. You're probably, I don't know. I haven't even put a lot of thought into that statement alone, but whatever. So he does have a lot of good points, shares a lot of stuff. I mean, I'm kind of where I'm at with my mentality because of him. So, I mean, I wouldn't say that's a bad thing. I feel much more confident with his guidance. So I don't know what you would say for that. It's not a bad thing. So, but anyway, I guess the point I'm trying to get at here, I wanted this to be short, but the point I'm trying to get at here is it's just a mentality. It's just the attitude. It's your beliefs. It's what you think is possible. And I guess it's just what you're willing to do to get to where you want to go. And it boils down to your priorities and what you value most and where you're trying to go and all this stuff. And a lot of people aren't trying to go to the top. They're fine trying to be in the middle. And there's nothing wrong with being in the middle. But when people talk about going higher and higher, I think the people in the middle get insulted as if the person who's talking about going higher is saying that the middle is shitty and it's not, you can't be there and you should always, whatever. And I just think that people get really sensitive when you start talking about something that's out of their belief range or out of their attainable, I don't know what you want to call it. People get insecure when you start talking about things that are unattainable for them. Or I guess that they are attainable for them, but they've chosen to believe that they're not. Because anybody can go out there and knock 1,000 doors this year, sell 10% of those people for $1,000 and make, what did I just say? Did I just say 1,000 doors, 10%? So it's 100. So everybody can go do that. 100 doors times 1,000, 100,000. Everybody can go do that. But not everybody believes that they can do it. Not everybody believes that they can actually make that kind of money. And that's fine. It's a hard belief, but it's because we've been raised in the system, brought up in the system, talking about 9-to-5 jobs and minimum wage and all this stuff. And the point of this is not to go all political and conspiracy or whatever, but we're definitely not taught how to make money. Definitely not taught how to pursue our dreams and go after big things like this. But we are taught to go to school, which is kind of a 9-to-5. If you want to date that all the way back to kindergarten, shit, even preschool. And then you have a job, which is a 9 to 5, and you just become a little worker. So they teach you to clock in at a certain time, clock out another time, do your tasks, go home. But for people who don't desire that, desire bigger and better things, which is, I hope, everybody who's listening to the show in 2024 or in 2043, I hope that whoever's listening is that type of person. Because if not, I'm not really sure what you're doing on this episode. But the people who desire more, they just see things different. They see life different. They see the rules of society different. A lot of rules don't apply to super ambitious people. And I don't want to say rules don't. I want to say guidelines or suggested ways of living aren't suitable or plug and playable for people who want more out of life. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but I do think that the people in the middle there who are okay with their life get offended or insecure or sensitive or whatever it may be because somebody else wants better or more. And that's really all I wanted to say for that. I noticed a common theme with this stuff. When it stayed within his audience, the people who like him and want to see his stuff and support him and find value in his content, those are the people, those posts had the most uplifting, positive, thankful comments. But when it reached the general public, the people who do not possess the mentality, the attitude, the perspective, the knowledge, the discipline, the grit, whatever, to pursue bigger things in life like this, when it reached them, that's when the negative comments started flooding in about people who have no idea. And it sucks, man, because you just have no idea. You know, just an Instagram video or photo, and you're just going out of your way to drop some negativity. I just think it's interesting. I mean, he's not doing anything harmful to anybody. He's posting some perspective on where he's at in life and his career. I mean, he's been doing his thing for almost 20 years now, whatever it is. And he's got 9 digits in his bank account. And people don't like that because a lot of comments started going into the whole thing of, oh, there's children that are starving, so why do you have 250 million, blah, blah, blah. That's a whole other thing. I don't even want to get into it, but don't tell people how to spend their money. You earned it, you spend it how you like. You worked as hard as you fucking did to get 9 digits in your bank account, you spend it how you fucking want, dude. So there's that. And then so I think I started this off saying it might be cocky or whatever, but that's why I believe that I'm on the right path mentally with my attitude, my perspective, and everything like that, because I see posts like that and I immediately get inspired. I get just ecstatic at the fact that this guy is only 10 years old, not even 10 years older than me, and he's crushing it and he's doing so well. And I just saw something out my window that was weird as shit. I made me lose my train of thought. But I see stuff like this. I see posts like this, and I immediately get inspired and I get fired up. I want to go work. But people who don't possess that same goal set, or the mindset, holy shit, goal set. People who don't possess the same mindset to achieve those goals, they just see it as I guess, an attack on them that they wasted their life and they're not good enough, which is not what he's ever said. You know, if you want to do big things, there's going to be a trade-off. There's going to be quite an exchange of time versus all these other things. And as long as you're okay with making that trade-off, then by all means go for it. So I can't remember where I was going with that, but oh yeah, so it just reinforces the fact that I believe I'm on the right path, because all those comments, the negative ones, I just can't relate to any of those people. I have no idea what I would even say if we were in the same room. If they were like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna live a soulless, empty life because all you care about is this, that, and the other," I don't even know what I would say. I would say, I mean, I guess if you think that all I care about is digits in my bank. What the hell was that noise, dude? I'm so sick of noises in this house. I guess if you think that all I care about is digits in my bank account, then I don't know. But, you know, it goes a lot deeper than that for me. So I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling now. I'm going to probably cut the show off. This might even be its own episode. I don't know. I'm just very tired. Got to go to sleep, man. So, but I share this to just, you know, again, document how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, things that are going through my head. Just believe I'm on the right path.
even more so when I see stuff like this. Because I have people in my life, people in my family, people I used to be friends with, coworkers, whatever, that definitely align with this type of thinking. And it's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with being okay where you're at. I do think people should strive to be the best that they can be. Doesn't mean make a lot of money or whatever, but just be a good person. Work toward your dreams. Work hard. But a lot of people are okay with where they're at, and that's fine. I'm not though. I'm not okay with where I'm at. Let me rephrase that. I'm cool with where I'm at, but there's a lot more of life that I'd like to live and achieve and work toward, because I love working. I love getting that next achievement and pushing myself to achieve those things. And that genuinely makes me feel fulfilled when I go to bed at night. That makes me feel really good. And for anybody to tell me that I'm wrong, or that I'm whatever for feeling this way, or that I'm soulless, or I'm empty inside, or I'll never have memories or whatever, my memories will be different than yours. There's no good or bad memories. I believe they're memories, and the perspective that we give them makes them good or bad. It's kind of a controversial thing, but there's traumatic experiences, but it's kind of how everything is, how the reaction is to it. There's a great example of this. I guess I'm not ending the show, huh? It's a great example of this. So I can't remember the study, but some little toddler falls down in front of their mother, and instead of the mother being like, "Oh shoot, are you okay? Oh no, come here," the mother just laughs, and the kid doesn't get up and start crying and screaming and saying, "Oh no, I'm hurt." The kid just gets up and it's fine. But then the opposite happens. So the mom freaks out. "Oh my heck, are you okay? Come here." And it's a traumatic experience for the kid. But both experiences both events that happened were the same exact thing. It's just the reactions and the perception of what happened around it that caused the perspective or the perception of I'm talking in circles, don't know what I'm saying. So it's just, I don't know. I guess it's just how you react, how you respond. And I believe that's what all of life is. Everything can happen. It's just you're 100% in control of how you respond to everything. Nobody tells you how to feel. Nobody tells you how to respond to things. Nobody tells you how to act or think or whatever. It's all up to you. At the end of the day, you're not hooked up to some machine that prevents you from thinking certain things. Absolutely can control everything like that. So with that being said, I'm going to end that. So probably will be its own show. More work to do, huh? Great. Appreciate you guys listening. Just some thoughts I wanted to share. So talk to you later. Peace. Hold on. I actually did want to add one more thing, because I think this is kind of where the context comes in. But you watch these videos of Alex, and he's talking about whatever. This guy's got damn near 3 commas in his bank. He's helped probably millions of entrepreneurs around the world get their business going, make a change, help other people. If you think about it, man, an entrepreneur helping other entrepreneurs is just one humongous domino effect. If he, by pushing himself as hard as he possibly can, and having a company that employs people, that puts food on other families' tables, and he can do that for 1 million other entrepreneurs, and let's say, I know this is not how it works, I know, well, let's just say that of those 1 million, 500,000 make a business, and that business has 10 people, and that those 10 people now have a job. They can now provide for their family, whatever. It's 5 million people, 5 million families that this guy is allowed or is able to help and feed them and whatever. It's crazy to think about. So that's not what I wanted to add, but you have people like this guy, and he's giving world-class advice from personal experience for free on social media. You don't have to pay for shit. You don't have to do anything. You just consume the content. You can do what you want with it for free. And he's sharing this wisdom, and then people comment on the video that he bestowed this wisdom, and they say, "What the hell is even on his nose? What a loser. Man's got a nasal strip. Just go get surgery." And that's so funny to me, because this man just dropped $1 million wisdom for free for you.
And the one thing that you're concerned about is his nose strip. It's just the lack of awareness of what the fuck is going. It's just I think it's just contextual awareness, right? Because if you're stumbling across him for the first time, I mean, it is the internet, you know, benefit of the doubt for these guys. I get it. Don't trust anybody on the internet. If it's on the internet, doesn't mean it's true, obviously. But dude, I don't know, man. It's just crazy to me. It's in the past, I think I would have gotten so frustrated. I've talked about this on the show, I believe. But when people pull he's on steroids, when somebody looks just remotely decent, that would get me furious. That got me so livid in the past when I would see that. And I would say that I've just gotten so, I guess, used to people saying that to other people. Not me. I'm not saying people say I'm on steroids. They better not do, because I absolutely do not look like it. But I would see that on other posts, and it would just make me furious, because it's just such a discredit to the person who's working their ass off to get the gains, you know, because still got to sleep, still got to eat, still got to train, still got to be aware of your water, still got to be aware of all the shit, stretching, recovery, proper plans. And especially if you're on juice, man, you can probably go a lot harder, so you should probably change everything to match. Anyway, so shit would get me furious, but now it doesn't really, and like it bugs me, but it doesn't get me absolutely unhinged. And I think that's just part of the perspective shift from the past, from the few, I don't know, perspective shift. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Just part of the perspective shift that I've undergone in the last couple of years. Because now it's just, I don't know, as long as I don't die, as long as I don't quit, I'm going to make it. And that's the thing that matters most to me is building this thing and enjoying the way, the process as I go. Because as much as it does suck, I talk about being discouraged all the time, but as much as it does suck, just feeling like I'm working all hours of the day and making no progress, and feeling like no one's going to like my stuff or see my stuff or whatever, that sucks. But I know there's going to be one day where somebody gets their entire life changed or something, and it's going to be because of me. And what price point would you put on changing somebody's life forever? I mean, shit, man. Say they're a dad. Say they got 3 kids. Say they're whatever. I mean, what if I save a marriage? What if I am the reason why this guy doesn't get in a drunk driving accident and pass away and leave a mother of 3? What price do you put on that? So therefore, every ounce of work that I put in from here on out, as long as it does one good thing for somebody at some point in time, it's never a waste. But according to society, it is, because I didn't make memories with family or friends or whatever when I was young and I had all the energy. Who gives a fuck, man? Let me live my life the way that I want to live mine. You live yours the way you want to live yours, and we'll be happily on our way. And we'll just leave it at that. Stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. Ironic that I say that at the end of the show. But, dude, it gets me so... whatever. That part gets me upset. But maybe it's just a shift in what bugs me now. It's not people saying steroids. It's people worrying about what other people are doing. I don't know, man. Live and learn. Documentation, so... whatever. I'm young as hell. I got a lot to learn, so... anyway, I really need to go to bed. It's 11:30 p.m. So... and yes, I'm still sick. Yes, I don't feel good. I feel like shit. So if this is your first time ever listening to the show, that's why. And thank you for making it 20 minutes in before you hear me say that. All right, guys, I'm going to sleep. Talk to you later. Bye-bye for real.